Something quite astonishing happened at the Asian Games 2023 in the team championship that's currently going on. This was the position between Maghsoodloo playing with the white pieces from Iran and Gukesh who's playing with black pieces. Now, the situation of the tournament was that Iran was in the lead, India was 1 point behind, and in this match, our boards 3 and 4, Vidit and Hari Krishna had drawn the games, and on board 2, Pragnananda had won. So, if Gukesh manages to hold here, India beats Iran. And while this position was going on, it seemed like Gukesh was in big trouble because his pawn is hanging and all of these pawns are going to fall. White pawns are coming this way down the board. It looks like Gukesh is in big trouble and he resigned here because he felt that he's losing his g6 pawn and then he's also losing his h5 pawn, and 2 pawns down in a rook endgame is just resignable. However, as it turns out, this position is actually a draw, and that is quite unbelievable. um, Also, I mean, the main thing is that Gukesh was under pressure in this game right from the opening, and he was trying to defend himself. At some point he was totally lost, then he came back, and so here maybe he just felt that okay, this is now lost, and he gave up. But the way in which you draw is very instructive. uh, as black, what you do is you put your rook on c3. Okay, now white will capture this pawn here on g6. So you go back king f7. Very important move, by the way, because you cannot go up here, then the king is cut off and it's lost. So like, let's say if you go king d5, I can play king h5, king e4. Even though the king is active here, white king simply comes down and the h pawn starts to roll. So you need your king to limit the white king. Now white will take the pawn. So now you're 2 pawns down. But the beauty of this defense is that you just wait. When you wait, white cannot go to g5 because he loses the g3 pawn. He also cannot remove his rook here because then also g3 pawn is being lost. So essentially now white has two plans. One is to go for g4 break, and the second one is to put the rook somewhere here and then start pushing the h pawn down the board. So let's say if you go rook g5, I go king f6, very important to protect that pawn. And now if you go g4, take, king takes, rook b1. This is a drawn endgame, well known in chess literature, with f and h pawns and the rook being very nicely positioned here, which could give checks from both sides. This is a draw. Black and Gukesh would have managed to hold this one, I'm sure. So not g4, then you go king h6. But now black has to do nothing because after pawn push, king comes forward, push. Here you're just standing with the rook, and even here, like, if white were to go king here, then we can give a check and push him back. But if he stays here, then we go wait, push, wait. There's nothing, because if you go king g8, it's a mate already, rook b8. So rook here, and now an important move which is very critical and shows why the king is very important here is king f7, stopping rook f8 check, and the king coming out and just playing king f7, and there is no way to make progress. And in this way, actually Gukesh could have held the draw here in this game, and that could have helped India to. So if you look at this one here, um, India then drew with Iran 2-2, and right now Iran is still in the lead. These are the standings. Right now, Iran has 9 match points, but you can see India has 8. But in terms of tiebreak, which is the game points, India is having the highest number of points, and also a very good chance to win right now the silver medal, because we are 2 points ahead of Mongolia, Uzbekistan, China, and everyone. But now Iran has already beaten Uzbekistan, they've beaten China, they've uh, the and drawn with India. The only sort of barrier that they have from winning this title is now Vietnam. I think that is going to be a critical matchup today. I think that is the one where um, we will have to wait and watch as to what happens. In the women, we have India at number 2 position. Even there, we have the highest game points, because we beat Kyrgyzstan yesterday, Mongolia 4-0. But China has 1 match point more, and that is quite an important one because they beat India. So for now, the gold looks difficult in the Asian Games, but you never know, because if any of the top team falters, and today Iran is playing Vietnam, and if something happens, then India really has chance of gold. Otherwise, we are definitely in with a silver medal. But this entire thing that we just analyzed right now was quite unfortunate, because Gukesh fought really hard. He gave it his all, but in the end, uh, he resigned in a position which was actually drawn. He resigned here, and that happens very rarely at top level, and very rarely to a player like Gukesh. Uh, but that's the nature of chess. It's quite complicated, and I'm sure Gukesh will definitely learn out of it. This is Sagasha signing off. Bye bye.